Hello everyone, this is Allegedly Caleb, and as you can see, the WDS 2025 Winter Sale has gone live as of today, December 12th, 2025. So, in this sale, there are a couple things for you to know. First, the sale will be going from today, December 12th, to about the end of the day, if you live in the United States, on January 4th. So let's take a look at these details, and then I'll show you around the store in case you haven't gone to this store before. So, first of all, some specifics about the sale. The main things to note are first the sale dates, so December 12th to January 4th. You'll want to keep that in mind. This guy, Rich, he essentially shuts down the sale around 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, USA. So keep that in mind if you're going to make any last minute sales. Second, this sale applies to all games that have been out longer than 12 months. So that will exclude 4 games. That'll exclude Musket and Pike, War of the Austrian Succession, Crusades, Book 1, Panzer Campaigns, Poland 39, and Age of Longbow, Volume 1, 100 Years' War. So essentially, you'll have access to the entire WDS game store except for those 4. So I personally already have Panzer Campaigns, Poland 39, and Age of Longbow, but I'm definitely looking to pick up Crusades Book 1. I haven't really gotten into the Musket and Pike series yet, but we'll see. That might be something I get into at some point. But this one, or these 2, should probably be on sale during the summer sale. Anyway, another thing to note is all of their games, except for those 4, have been reduced by 25%. So most WDS games tend to be about $40 US, so that will place them at around $30 US, which is a very reasonable price for these games. In fact, it's not even a reasonable price. It is a very, very good price for these games because these games feature so much content. So if you want to check out a WDS game, you've never played one, or if you want to add more to if you've seen some that you're interested in and you want to add some more to your library, this is a very good opportunity to do that. So on top of that 25% reduction, you also have a combined, what would you call it, a big 20% discount for all orders over $199. So again, that's 2 deals on top of one another. First, you have a bulk orders deal, which is 20% for all orders basically that are $200 or more. And you've got the 25% reduction to each individual title. So overall, that's about a 40% discount if you buy in bulk. Now, there's a couple other things they wanted to show you. First, there is a new store and shopping cart enhancement where essentially it will tell you if you already have a product that's in your cart. That way you don't accidentally buy the same game twice. It even references the demos, which that's meh. Who really cares if you accidentally download a demo twice? Because it's free. But if it would really suck accidentally paying $30 or $40 for a game you already have. I'm sure they could help. I'm sure they'd find some way to help you with that, but still. So there's that. And then when you're actually on the individual product page, there's going to be a red banner which will show if you have that game already. So when you're shopping, you will be able to avoid accidentally making a duplicate purchase. And like I said, if you do accidentally do that, you can contact their support at their help desk. Now, anything else? Oh yes, one more thing. Their Game of the Week sales are going to be on a temporary pause while this main winter sale is going on. So makes total sense. All the games are already going to be off by 25%. So it doesn't really make sense to continue that for now. Which means for my channel, my Game of the Week videos are going to go on pause for a little bit as well. I could potentially I could spotlight some games, but they won't be Game of the Weeks. They'll just be spotlighted games. Anyway, that is all of their announcements. So let's take a look at their store. If you've never been to the WDS website, this is what it'll take you to, their homepage. By the way, I should mention, if you're not familiar with them, WDS stands for War Game Design Studios. They make hex and counter style war games. You'll see what their games tend to look like as we look at some of their games. But they were originally John Tiller Studios. I think that's what he called it. And those games go back to, I think, like the 80s, maybe the 90s. But once John Tiller passed away, he passed them over to War Game Design Studio. So, here is their statement. War Game Design Studio is a developer of military conflict simulation software. We have over 100 titles available, 12 simulation engines, and ongoing work derived from military contract experience. Our engines cover land, sea, and air simulations and tactical, operational, and strategic engagements. So, these are all of their latest releases. None of these games are currently on sale. And then they have all of their news. They've recently released some blog posts featuring their what if games, which they have a bunch of games in their catalog that have a lot of scenarios that never happened but could have happened, such as the invasion of England by Germany, or if the Germans had tried to attack Moscow again in 1942. Things like that. Even an invasion of Japan in 1945 and 1946. So let's take a look at a bunch of their game series. So here they are. They've got, like they said, 12 different game series. Civil War Battles, First World War Campaigns, Modern Air Power, Modern Campaigns, Musket and Pike, Napoleonic Battles, Naval Campaigns, Panzer Battles, Panzer Campaigns, Squad Battles, Strategic War, and Sword and Siege. So, I'll break these down a little bit. So the more modern games are all the Modern Campaigns, First World War Campaigns, and Panzer Campaigns. They're all a little bit more similar. They use similar game mechanics where you're mostly commanding battalion down to about a company level units. And that will be across entire orders of battle. And if you're not new to this channel, you'll be very familiar with Panzer Campaigns, as I play that quite a lot on this channel. Then, as we go down to Panzer Battles, which I've also featured on this channel, Panzer Battles is kind of a zoomed in scope from Panzer Campaigns. It takes place during World War II. Most of the units there are about platoon sized. Or even, I think there's even individual vehicles, but it's mostly platoon and companies. And then finally, you have squad battles. If you're familiar with Advanced Squad Leader, similar concept. You're commanding squads, individual counters, individual tanks, individual machine guns, anti-tank guns, that sort of stuff. You're dealing with attacking buildings individually instead of attacking city blocks or even attacking cities like you would be doing in Panzer Campaigns. So that's a good breakthrough of that. Then you've got Civil War Battles. We'll open this one up because I actually don't have any of these ones. So Civil War Battles. These deal with popular battles not popular, but well-known battles during the Civil War, and a lot of battles that weren't even very well-known. And it's all mostly line infantry fighting one another, but with modern weapons. So I believe the Civil War took place after the Napoleonic Wars. So you have a bunch of modern weapons fighting still with Napoleonic tactics. So that's one of the reasons why the Civil War was so bloody. Anyway, that's the Civil War Battles. Then you've got, let's take a look at all of them. These are the 3 games that are featured in the First World War Campaigns. France 14, East Prussia, excuse me, which is essentially the Eastern Front. And then Serbia, which is what you call that area of the world. I cannot remember. Man, the word is slipping me. But let's see if we can get a bigger overview. No, we don't. Is it the Balkans? Yeah, I think that's the word, the Balkans. And you got modern air power. Excuse me. This is dealing with planes. I can't say I've gotten super into this one. It's pretty, it looks very like you are fighting over a large area. Like this is all of Korea. That's really big. And then you've got modern campaigns. Like I said, this is a modern version of Panzer Campaigns. Similar game systems, but they're going to have their differences. Most of this is going to be Cold War simulations. So these aren't going to be actual battles that happened because the Cold War luckily stayed cold. It never went hot. But it will have some wars that did happen, such as Korea. Although, actually, this one didn't really happen because this was... Never mind. This is Korea 85. The Korean War happened in the 50s. That's basically saying what would happen if it went hot. You got Middle East 67. So these are based off actual conflicts. You're going to have a lot of fighting between Israel and the Arab states, along with, I believe, some other conflicts. I don't know. I don't have this one either, so I can't say exactly what it is. This is the demo. Quang Tri. This is Vietnam. Obviously, this actually did take place. And then a bunch of Cold War in Europe scenarios. Anyway, then you got Musket and Pike. This is a really interesting series. It mostly takes place, like I can't even tell you what years it took place, because there's so many games. Here, you've got one in 16, is that 16 or 10? Yeah, 1683. That's the demo, actually. War of the Austrian Succession, Great Northern War, which I believe is up in Scandinavia. Yeah. And then Renaissance, 7 Years' War, 30 Years' War. I believe they're also working on a American Revolutionary War game. But here is one of the most popular game series that I have yet to play. It's the Napoleonic Battles. So these are 100-meter hexes. Each turn takes it doesn't take approximately 10 to 15 minutes. They simulate about 10 to 15 minutes. Units are at about a battalion level. And there's 15 games in this series. So you're going to have most of the famous campaigns, if not all, that happened during the Napoleonic Wars. And this is something I would love to get into one day. But I wouldn't say unfortunately. I would say at this point, half, if not more than half, of the Panzer Campaigns series. And I am sheepishly saying that I have not dug into most of them. Maybe not most of them. I haven't really dug into... I haven't played a campaign on most of them, that I'll say. But I've played scenarios on a lot of them. You'll see a lot of these featured on my channel as well. Anyway, I won't get into these as much, because if you know my channel, you'll have seen gameplay of these. You'll know what these are. Back up here, you've got Naval Campaigns. This one's interesting because it seems to vary across a lot of different eras. You've got Guadalcanal, Jutland, Kriegsmarine. What is this one? Oh, this is the Bismarck game. I'm actually playing a Kriegspiel Bismarck game right now, where I am playing the U-boat, like the main commander of all the U-boats. And I'm on the Kriegsmarine side. Anyway, then you got Midway, Spanish-American War, Tsushima, and Wolfpack. This one must be... Yeah, this one must be where you play as all the submarines. That's interesting. Alright. Then you've got Panzer Battles. So I've featured this a little bit on my channel. The way to think of it is a zoomed in version of Panzer Campaigns. Let me show you. Each map is a lot more detailed. You've got it down to platoon and companies fighting each other, sometimes even squads and individual units. Here we go. So yeah, you can see these games are a lot more tactical than the Panzer Campaigns games. I highly recommend you play the demo. The demo has so many good battles, and it's quite varied too. There's all sorts of battles. Eastern Front, France, Germany, Asia, Africa. You've got all sorts of battles in that demo right there. Anyway, Panzer Campaigns, which I've talked about. Squad Battles, which actually did receive an update recently. They're updating the 3D models to be more, to be higher quality, essentially. There are a lot of squad battle games as well, covering many different periods. You got World War II squad battles. You've got Vietnam, Eagle Strike. I think that is, yeah, that's still World War II. Falklands, First World War, which is interesting. You don't think of squad level fighting during World War II much, do you? Anyway, Grenada, that one's interesting. Got modern scenarios in this modern war game. Pacific War, Korean War, Spanish Civil War, Soviet-Afghan War, Red Victory, The Proud and the Few. What's this one? This is the Marines, I think. Yeah. Tour of Duty, that's more modern as well. And Vietnam and Winter War. So a lot of different squad battle games. I haven't gotten into those. Then you've got Strategic War. This is one I don't really know very well. It covers World War II in Europe from the beginning to end. 10-kilometer hexes and 2-day turns. Interesting. Because comparatively to Panzer Campaigns, you've got not divisions. You've got 1-kilometer hexes. Each turn is about 2 hours, varied by night turns as well. This is huge. Interesting. Very interesting. So you have Poland, the invasion of France, Netherlands and Belgium, and Luxembourg, I guess. You've also got the invasion of Denmark and Norway right here. This covers a lot of different... Yeah, this covers a lot of different battles. That's interesting. The first Blitzkrieg. Let's see what this one does. War on the Southern Front. Is this Africa? Okay, Mediterranean. Oh, interesting. It covers Greece, the Balkans, Sicily, Africa. Cool. Very cool. Now, I would love to see a Panzer Campaigns game based on the invasion of Greece. I think that would be really interesting. Anyway, and finally, the newest series of all of these, Sword and Siege. As of now, there's just 2 books. Not 2 books, but 2 games. You've got Crusades, which is essentially Crusaders versus the Muslims. Occasionally Crusaders against the Christians as well. That's the general map of the game. Oh, that's my phone, apologies. And then you also have Age of Longbow, which if you're watching my channel, I've got a series going right now of one of the campaigns, the English campaign actually. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and take a look at my playlists. It should be right around the top. So that is all of the game series. There are a couple other things you can buy from them if you really want, which I actually asked for a WDS gift card for Christmas. So you can get gift cards. Here's all the different game demos where you can try out all the different game systems. Everything that's on sale right now, it's going to have 100 products in it, but usually they're not that many. And then new releases. So you can see here's all of the newest releases in order, which is interesting because I haven't actually taken a look at this much. So I knew about these 4. I didn't realize Smolensk 43 was so new. Then Spring Awakening, 30 Years War, Orel 43, Great Northern War, Philippines 44, Kriegsmarine, and Forgotten Campaigns of the Civil War. This is interesting. Anyway, everyone, that is a quick overview. Well, it's been 20 minutes, but that is an overview of WDS. I hope you enjoyed. These are all the people who are either currently working here or have had a major impact on Wargame Design Studios. This is John Tiller, the man who started it all. That's Rich. He's the guy who wrote that report. Not report, but wrote the briefing. Anyway, you'll see a lot of these guys have military backgrounds, which is, and history professional backgrounds. So that's where they get a lot of their, that's why these games are so good, because these guys are very qualified to be making games like this. There's also a forum, so you can always make an account, drop in the forum, see what people are saying about the games, and just get chatting. So anyway, everyone, I hope you have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next video.